Hey everyone, MCU Collector here with the next video of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man Wave 10 SPDR Spider Build-A-Figure Wave. Next up we have Elektra, looking very cool. Here she is in the front of the package. I like that this one kind of gets that special packaging where it has a special logo in front, so you can see a new Elektra logo there. Looking very cool. Side artwork of Elektra looks awesome. Here we have, on the back of the package, we have a look of the proto image of the figure. The bio reads, shaken by the death of her father, Elektra uses her exceptional skills in the martial arts to become an expert assassin. So very cool. Same artwork there. We have the same E that was on the Marvel Knights MCU Netflix Elektra. I believe that's the same E logo there. So really cool. And there's the UPC for you guys. So let's open this up and take a look. All right, guys, here is Elektra out of the package. Awesome looking figure. But before I get into that, a couple of people have asked about the Scarlet Spider and if the hands can be replaced with this figure or the head. Head sculpt does not come off on this. Hands do not come off on this as well. I can't just pull it. Maybe if you warm it up and you can kind of pull it off. I don't know. I know like the Iron Fist, which actually uses the same body, has interchangeable hands, but I'd have to check the forums to see if they're the same. But as far as I can tell, these hands do not come off, and the hands are absolutely gigantic, massive. I don't think it would look good anyway. So, move on to the Elektra figure. Before I get to that, I'm actually going to do a comparison with an old Toy Biz figure. If you guys have followed the channel and know about my collection, I am not a fan of Toy Biz. I don't have any Toy Biz figures, with the one exception of this Elektra figure. My brother and my sister-in-law got this for me one time while they were on vacation because they I was fairly new to collecting figures, so they picked it up for me, not knowing Toy Biz differences and whatnot. But so this figure, my kids play with this figure, or when they played with figures, they played with this one, so I just kind of gave it to them. This is a horrible figure. Just look at that head sculpt. Look how bad that looks. And then the paint rub and everything on this thing. Look at how it all comes out. Not good. And I know a lot of this is going to be wear and tear, but how does the paint come off of the skin tone onto the hair and the other pieces? I don't know what's going on. This is just a terrible figure. It looks horrible. There's articulation for days. It's crazy with the amount of articulation on there, but I think the figure suffers from too much articulation. So that's that. But just look at the difference. It's bad. I'll just drop that one, get rid of it. But here is Elektra, looking pretty cool. Before I get into it, here we have the left leg of the SPDR Spider Build-A-Figure, and this thing's pretty tall. You can see that it's standing just as tall as Elektra. So the Build-A-Figure must be pretty large. So I can't wait to finish opening these up and taking a look at this all together. But really cool. So the Elektra uses the same female body mold that we see with most of the figures. I'm not actually a fan of this body mold. I know everyone's favorite is probably the Moonstone body because it's kind of a little bit thicker, bigger, and just a little bit more sturdy, I would say. These ones have very thin legs that just at times can get difficult to kind of pose around. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I'm not the biggest fan of these legs, and I think majority of the female figures are actually using this body now. And then that Moonstone body is hardly getting used at all. We had Scarlet Woman, Spider-Woman, Captain Marvel, and then I think next up is actually going to be the Scream figure, which hopefully I should have here tomorrow. I should have the Venom Wave. I'm hoping. I should have had it. I should have received it, if anything, today, but it's definitely not coming today. So hopefully tomorrow or the next day I'll have the Venom Wave and I'll be able to get through the rest of this wave. But looking really cool. So as far as accessories, other than the Build-A-Figure piece, she comes with the 2 size. Now these are the same size that we got with the Netflix Elektra. I just dropped one. But obviously the paint is different. The MCU Elektra, I believe, had black handles. This one has red handles. And I can't remember if that little red X for the kind of the handle strap came up on the Netflix one or not, but I like that. That's a very nice added little touch to them. They are pretty soft and they can bend around, but out of the package mine came pretty straight. If anything, that might be bent a little bit. No big deal. And then you can see she has that same hand that the Netflix Wave Elektra came with, where she can hold it. Here she in the promo image actually shows her holding it this, you know, this way, and you kind of have to, well, drop that one, but you kind of have to work around kind of the fingers and the thumb to get it in place. But I believe the Netflix Wave one actually had her holding the Sai like this, and I think this looks really good when you do it this way, when she holds it like that. I think that's a nice little touch, but she can hold it a couple different ways. It's really cool. Let's take a close-up of the figure. This head sculpt looks great. I think Hasbro did a really good job on this. There's no paint, no issues with paint or anything like that. The sculpt looks very good. I really like it. Came out very clean. Nice. Hair is just all black, but then she has kind of the head wrap up at the top, and this is just a little rubbery piece that's just kind of glued in. Can you see? Just kind of glued in there, so you want to be careful that doesn't kind of pop off and rip, but it's just kind of free flowing there. So that's a nice little touch too. That's not just molded on together. So it's nice. And then she also has this skirt piece that's just kind of floating there. It does not come off. There's no clip or anything to pull that off. Looks really good. Articulation. Head can look all the way down. That's very good. She can look... Well, you're not going to get a lot of motion upwards in the head because of the hair, but obviously side to side, and there's some actual pivot in there as well, so that's pretty good. Arms go out that far. These joints were a little stiff out of the package for mine. Full rotation, no bicep swivel on this body mold. You just get the swivel at the elbow, and it's single jointed elbow, and based on how these elbows are, you're not going to get a whole lot of range of motion. That's as far up as it's going to go. That's it. Same on the other side. It's not going to go very far. Nice little detail. The arm wraps, you can see there's actually some skin tone coming through because it's not just like a band. It's supposed to represent like a red wrap, I would say. And so either that or that it's scratched up, but you can see the skin tone coming through. So that's a nice little detail instead of just putting full red band kind of around there. You can see the paint lines came out looking really good for her top piece. Kind of a weird spot right there on the shoulder. Looks a little orange maybe. Peg hole at the back, but does come out very clean. Legs go out that far. Is that it? Yeah, not a whole lot of range of motion as far as the legs. So only that far. She can kick all the way out. There's a little bit of back motion there. She gets the upper thigh cut. Double jointed knee. No boot cut or calf swivel. Hinge very tiny upwards, not a whole lot. Back all the way, and there is ankle pivot. And again, this one's just kind of tough to get standing up. I have a hard time kind of working it because these legs just are so thin, they just don't want to hold real well. Oh, I forgot a diaphragm joint. She can pivot side to side. She can crunch down ever so slightly. She can go back quite a bit. Now to measure her out, she stands at... looks like just over 6 inches. So good height to her. Looking at the paint lines of her costume do look very clean. A little red splotch right there. Not so bad. But very good looking figure. She'll look good with going next to Daredevil. She comes out looking really good. Now I'm a fan of my Netflix because it's an MCU figure, so I'm always going to kind of put those ahead of the comic figures. But for the comic representation of Elektra, so much better than any previous figure that we've had. I don't have, or I haven't seen any of the Hasbro releases in person, but I know that this one is definitely a huge improvement even over the Hasbro. Night and day difference with Toy Biz. That thing was terrible. So awesome looking figure. I think this one is one that people are definitely going to want to pick up. She may even be hard to find when they first release in stores. So there she is, Elektra. If you guys have any questions, leave comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Those that have subscribed, thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching.